Man, you want to talk about good stories with actual good characters? I thought it was the best show ever. The best anime, all-time top 1 anime. The manga keeps going on. So if you actually want to see a slight increase in character development, you have to go read the manga like 500 chapters in. Yeah, weebs are crazy. Hey, yeah, so today guys, we're just gonna hang out and talk about anime, probably answer some questions, definitely gonna say some controversial stuff, might even hurt your feelings, but hey, it's just anime, man. It ain't real, it won't hurt you. What was the first anime you ever watched? The first anime I ever watched was Dragon Ball Z, but I didn't know that that was an anime because I saw that a long time ago on Nickelodeon. And so I thought that was just like a cartoon, just like SpongeBob, except it was a lot cooler. It was the coolest cartoon that I knew. But I didn't know that it was actually something called anime. It wasn't until my freshman year of high school that I had an engineering class. And that same year, I had 2 people who introduced me to anime. One of them would watch One Piece, but I wasn't about to watch, like, you know, at the time, 700 episodes. But then the other guy in my other class was like, hey, Josue, I know you don't like those long animes, so how about you watch the short seasonal anime? And I was like, seasonal anime? What are you talking about? And the first one he told me to watch was High School DxD. And I watched that and I was like, whoa, this is a whole lot better than Dragon Ball Z. Now here's the thing, no one ever believes me when I say this. I actually enjoyed High School DxD for the action. All right, I'm not lying, because before I watched anime, I used to watch a lot of anime stick fights. So, you know, we're talking about Resh, who made Umbrella, Hyun, I don't know how you say his name, guy with the yo-yo, turquoise as well. So before coming into anime, I was a big fan of, like, I didn't know the word for it at the time, but anything with Sakuga, which is basically, you know, where all the animation budget goes into, the good money shot, the good fight scenes are at. That's what I like to watch, but for stick fights. And so High School DxD had several pretty good power-up fight scenes or whatever. But when I tell people that I enjoyed that, they're like, yeah, nah, you just wanted to see the anime titties. You here for the anime titties just like the rest of us. And yeah, you know, the fan service was okay. But there were some times where it just got in the way, man. Like, come on. I just want to see the fight scenes. But then years later, I watched it again recently. For some reason, it is not as good as I remember it being. I don't know what it was. Actually, you know what? I know exactly what it was. What is up with the brain dead, low IQ, dense MCs in anime, man? These airhead MCs who don't know how to deal with any problem. It's like, at this point, I might as well just watch for the good side characters. Like, what is the MC even here for? So yeah, let's talk about that for High School DxD. I hated Issei, man. I hated this guy, one-dimensional, perverted dude. He's only here for the boobs, the anime titties. Like, you got a power, one of the most powerful powers you could have, and instead of spending all that time, you know, training yourself, you're just worrying about, you know, anime titties. And that's the problem I got with a lot of anime. If you got these MCs with like these OP powers, and yet something happens to, like, their, you know, someone they care about, it's like, come on, you're supposed to be OP. What are you doing? And yet there's no, like, character development whatsoever. They'll get stronger, right? They'll be super buff, you know, ready to beat anyone up, right? But then they're still like, you got like a strong OP character with a shy uwu soul. I was like, I don't know, like I would expect your character to also develop too. Yeah, I don't know. But I've seen that in a lot of anime now, where all our characters are clueless half the time. Well, we don't see any character development in the anime because the manga keeps going on. So if you actually want to see a slight increase in character development, you have to go read the manga like 500 chapters in order to see what actually happens. So what we get left with is a whole bunch of anime with all these characters who are completely dense and clueless and don't know what they're doing at all, but we have to read into the manga to maybe get like an inch, an ounce, a small peck of character development. And I was like, man, get out of here. Which is, you know what? Which is why I read, I don't even watch as much anime as I used to anymore. I read manhwa. Man, you want to talk about good stories with actual good characters? Man, you read some Solo Leveling, you read some The Beginning After the End. For people who don't know, manhwas is basically like a Japanese manga, but better. And they're in color. Come on, it's 2020. And man, some of the stories are so good. Those stories alone, man, make up for all these dense, clueless MC shows that I keep seeing. And yes, so I've given up on anime till we get some more manhwas made into an anime. You have a favorite waifu? No. All right. So you tell me if I'm weird, but I don't actually have a waifu. You give me a show and I'll give you a best girl. But if you ask me like, okay, you have to choose one waifu, I don't know. I don't have one that just like automatically like stands out like, oh yeah, like that's waifu right there. I don't know. Is that weird? Because man, I know some people who are like, yeah, man, you get Rias from High School DxD, man. Yeah, Asuna, man, that's my girl right there. Like, no, that's not your girl right there. Like some of these like waifus, right, are already in relationships with people in the stories. So to then say, nah, that's my waifu. It's like, what? That doesn't make sense. I don't know. Is that weird? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it too hard. But that just doesn't make sense to me. Like people who say 02 is waifu. Like, no, 02 number one is dead, and number two, even if she was real, man, you really think that's gonna work out? Or we got even some really people who go like really in depth with it and like, no, I want Ashia to win so that I could keep Rias and Akano all to myself. Like, what? They want their version of the worst girl to win just so that they could keep their waifu. Like, dude, what? That to me sounds weirder than not having a waifu. By the way, Ashia is the worst girl in High School DxD. Gotta put that out there. But yeah, man, some people they go crazy for their waifus. Like, nah, these weebs will be like, man, nah, she just hasn't met me yet. If she were real, man, she'd be mine. No, if she were real, the only thing that would be on you is the police. That would be the only thing that would be on you, man. It's a nice, comfortable, long, hefty jail sentence. Oh man, yeah, weebs are crazy, but you know, waifus, man. What are you gonna do about them? Do I have an anime that I'm ashamed that I enjoy? Oh yeah, so I first watched this anime back in 2012, and this show is called Sword Art Online. So, okay, back when this show was going on, this show was like the show. Merch everywhere, people were talking about how much they love this show. And then it started to become the now mainstream opinion that, nah man, Sword Art Online is trash, man. You watch Sword Art Online, dude? Bruh, you don't even know all the good shows in anime, man. Your taste in anime is dookie. I'm like, what the heck? Where do all you people come from? Like, you were literally a SAO fan till like last month. Now all of a sudden you're hating it? Like, what are you talking about? Like, bro, you're gonna tell me like something like Rental Girlfriend is better? Get out of here. Get out of here. Nah, SAO and their characters, man, are so much better. I think because it's definitely not like my favorite. It's definitely not the best show. And there's things that I hate about it, but there are also things that I like about that. And a show that can make you feel like that, I think is a good show. There is no perfect show. Like, there are going to be some things that you hate about it, but at least with SAO, it's the one that's given me like the most mixed emotions. And so I think that's pretty cool, because not a lot of shows could do that. The worst thing that a show could do is literally make you bored. That's the worst thing. So the fact that a show can make you even feel anything in the first place, you know, that gets you like invested enough to hate it or invested enough to like it, I think is a sign that it did something good. But yeah, man, I've seen plenty of shows that people are like, yeah, this is the best show, and I was just bored out of my mind. I'm not saying that I want to gatekeep anime or whatever. Like, if it's only your first year watching anime, your opinion for like show recommendations, I'm not taking it seriously. And it's not because I don't value your opinion or whatever. It's because what's gonna happen is the same thing that happened to me when I rewatched High School DxD. I thought it was the best show ever. The best anime, all time, top 1 anime. But then I actually watched anime for many years. And then now that I've actually watched these hundreds of anime, I'm able to say like, hey, you know what? You know, now that I have other shows to compare it to, I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's as good of a show as I remember. So when you got someone new who's like, Darling in the Franxx, man, it's the #1, but like all they know is My Hero Academia, Black Clover, and Boruto Shippuden, Naruto 2. You know, after you watch like anime for several years, then I start taking your anime recommendations maybe a bit more seriously. I mean, only because I've done that myself, where it's like, man, this anime is like the show. I just didn't know there were so many other better shows out there, and that's fine. That's okay. We all have to start somewhere. What were they even talking about? All right, Studio Ghibli movies, man. Studio Ghibli movies, or Ghibli, or however you want to say it. My favorite one would have to be Ponyo, and then My Neighbor Totoro. I remember seeing Howl's Moving Castle a long time ago, but I just forgot. I thought they were boring. I get, yeah, you're telling like a nice story. I just need to see some like fighting, action. But occasionally I do want to take a, you know, I want to see something that has a good, you know, calming, I guess, relaxing story. Ponyo and My Neighbor Totoro were definitely one of those that I saw as a kid that I was like, that's cool. And then when it's done, just go back to watching Dragon Ball Z to get that more daily dose of fighting. I get it. A lot of people like them. I've never really been much into them. And if you wanna make a good story while you're at it, fine, sure, it's a cherry on top. But I need that good animation quality plus a good story. You know, the shows that could do both, man, those are my favorite. Have I ever cried to an anime? Dude, you catch me watching Angel Beats, man. Just the soundtrack alone, man, I will just be in tears. It will just be a puddle everywhere. Dude, you want to know the most overrated anime? I think the most overrated anime, all these new anime watchers be saying is the best show ever, is Black Clover and Boruto, man. Now, before you get on me, I was saying, oh man, this guy don't know what he's talking about. Listen here, at least with Black Clover, I watched like at least 50 episodes in one day. Now, let me tell you how I watched 50 episodes in one day for Black Clover. If an actual episode is 20 minutes per episode, for Black Clover, only half of that, 10 minutes, is actually new stuff in the show. So let's cut out 1 minute and 30 seconds for the opening. Give it, you know, I guess another 1 minute and 30 seconds for the ending. So now we're at 3 minutes, all right? Now we need the recap in the beginning, right? And the recap, man, these recaps, literally playing the same scenes from the last episode for most of the show. And then only once we get towards the middle, kind of close to the end, is when we actually start getting a little speck of new content. They stretch all that out, man. Such a long episode to barely tell any story at all. That's how I was able to watch 50 episodes of Black Clover in a single day, man, because you could skip most of it. Skip the opening, man, skip the ending, and once you've done doing that, you're only left with like a few minutes of like the actual show. And then we're not even done, because these guys literally, I don't know what it is, but like they hold, you know, like they'd be like, what nani, and then they'll just stare at them like this will be the scene for the next 5 seconds as you're supposed to feel something as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the next scene plays, and then, you know, the thing continues. They hold like the still images like for so long, and it's like, okay, like I'm already hitting my arrow key in the story, right? Like I know you're doing this pause to try to extend it. Like just give me the new stuff and pace it good. You'll only get like 5 seconds of a Sakuga shot where it's like, man, this is where all the budget went. And then you won't see another shot like that for the next 30 episodes. But, you know, thus are the problems of a weeb. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me. A lot of fun. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.